Hi everyone, Ben here. Welcome to my beginner piano lesson series, Lesson 2. In Lesson 2, we're going to be having a look at the left hand. I'm going to give you an exercise that works on both your left hand and your right hand. We're going to have a quick look at the bass clef, and then finally I'm going to give you another piece to learn how to play, which will work on your left hand technique. So firstly, a little exercise. In the first lesson, we learnt how to find C. We find the two black notes, and we find the white note to the left-hand side of it. That's where we're going to start our second lesson, with your right hand in that position. Again, with all the fingers just on each of the notes. And we're simply going to do, in this exercise, we're going to start on the thumb, and we're going to go up each finger in turn, and then come back down again. A simple exercise. Try and stay relaxed doing it. Try and do it at different speeds, but only speed up when you feel really comfortable doing it at a slow speed. As you work on it, hopefully you can get up to this sort of speed, but only get faster when you feel relaxed. It's an exercise you can also do with your left hand. So if I bring my left hand to the keyboard, again I'm going to start on middle C with my thumb. You'll notice now the fingers go down from C, and I can do this exercise going down starting at my thumb. Now you will probably find this difficult, and more difficult than with your right hand, unless of course you're left-handed, in which case you may find it easier. But most people find this a little bit difficult. It's really important to stay relaxed and to just take it slowly. And just make sure each of the notes are sounding. Now, with the right hand exercise, it's easy to write this in sheet music using the treble clef. You go up and down, and the notes look like this. Now, we have a bit of a challenge when we use the left hand and go down, because if I write this using treble clef, you'll see I've got to add loads of extra lines, which are called ledger lines, and it becomes really, really difficult to read. It's for this reason that we have another clef, another code breaker like thing called the bass clef. Because if I write it in bass clef, then middle C is on a ledger line above the stave rather than below it. And so if we fill in the notes that are coming down here, you can see that they're on the stave. So that is why it's written in bass clef. I've got a video all about bass clef. I'll put a link below this video to that. It was really worth having a look at that and seeing. So bass clef is actually there to make it easier for us to read. It's not to make it harder by having an extra clef. It's actually to make it easier for us to be able to read the notes. So today's piece, here it is, the Lesson 2 Chill Out piece. It's a nice relaxed piece, and it's just going to work on some of the techniques we were just looking at in that little exercise on your left hand. It's just to start getting your left hand used to playing on the keyboard. One thing just to note is the left hand fingering. It's the same as the right hand fingering. Number 1 is the thumb, number 2 is your index finger, and so on through to number 5, which is your little finger. So let's have a look at this top line of this piece, and let me play it to you now. Okay, so it's quite a simple idea. It's just alternating those first 2 bars, alternating being the first and second fingers, and then the last 2 bars alternating between the second and third fingers. It's really just helping getting your fingers used to moving. And then we get the same idea developing in the second line, but we're just moving down to your third and fourth fingers. So here's how the second line sounds. And then it just finishes off with 2 little scales. So a simple little piece there for you to have a go at, but it's just working on that left hand technique. So as was the case with the piece in lesson 1, I want you to have a go with the backing track because it really helps you stay in time. So here's what the piece should sound like with the backing track. So that's how it should sound with the backing track. The backing track keeps looping, so you can, again, really get into the feel of playing it. You can also have a go at playing it with your right hand. I'll put a link down to the sheet music below, which shows you the fingering for that. So you can play exactly the same piece, but have a go with your right hand. So we've introduced the left hand. We've had a look at an exercise for both the left hand and the right hand. We've talked a little bit about bass clef, and we've got another piece that you can learn which will develop your left hand technique. For your homework, have a go at practicing the piece. Also take the time to have a go at the exercise because that will really help your technique. There's also 2 videos on music theory I'd like you to have a look at, and I'll post the links below. The first is on bass clef and the second is on middle C. I'm sure you'll find those really, really helpful. See you in lesson 3.